They say a dog is man's best friend. They say dogs offer unconditional love, standing by our side no matter what. But what happens when that sacred bond is shattered by the very humans they were born to trust? When the hand that should have fed them struck them instead? When the voice that should have praised them only screamed? What remains is not just a dog, but a broken soul. A soul shaped by betrayal, frozen by fear, and trapped in an isolation that feels endless. Today, we share the heart-wrenching yet inspiring journeys of 3 dogs who found their way back from complete darkness. They were broken, they were forgotten, and they had almost given up hope. But as you will see, they did not need a perfect home or expensive toys. They did not need pity. They needed just one person who looked into their eyes and silently promised, "I will not give up on you." The first story is about a small, scruffy terrier named Toby. No one knew the details of his past, but his reactions told a terrifying story. To Toby, human hands were not symbols of love or comfort. They were weapons. They were sources of pain. When he first arrived at his foster home, he did not explore. He did not wag his tail. Instead, he crawled into the darkest corner of the living room, curled into a tight ball, and began to shake. The trembling never stopped. It was fear made visible. If anyone came too close, even speaking in a gentle voice, Toby panicked. He scrambled against the walls, desperate to escape the monster he believed stood before him. His new owner quickly understood something important. Love could not be forced. She made a difficult but necessary decision. "I won't go to him," she told herself. "I have to let him come to me in his own time." She stopped trying to pet him. She stopped calling his name. Instead, every single day, she sat quietly on the floor a few feet away, reading a book. There was no eye contact, no sudden movement, no reaching out. She became a symbol of patience. Her presence carried a silent message. "I am here, I am safe, and I expect nothing from you." That was her language of love. Days turned into weeks. Then one quiet evening, as the sun began to set, something changed. She felt it before she saw it, a small shift in the air. A cold, hesitant nose gently touched the back of her hand. She held her breath. Tears filled her eyes, but she did not move. She let him choose. And that night, for the first time in his painful life, Toby climbed onto a human lap. He released a long, heavy sigh, and he fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. In that moment, the ice around his heart finally melted. Fear gave way to safety. Next comes the story of Max, a powerful Rottweiler. Inside the shelter system, Max carried labels that often amount to a death sentence: aggressive, unadoptable, bad dog. He bared his teeth at anyone who passed his cage. He lunged and barked with a ferocity that made people recoil in fear. To the outside world, he looked like a monster. But his aggression was an illusion. It was a desperate defense mechanism forged by years of abuse. In Max's mind, the logic was simple. They will stay away if I act dangerously. If they stay away, they cannot hurt me again. He was not fighting out of hatred. He was fighting to survive. Most people gave up on him. Many said he was too broken to save. But one family saw something different. Beyond the snarling teeth, they saw eyes wide with panic. They saw a terrified soul hiding behind a wall of rage. And they took a chance that no one else would. One afternoon, the family's young son began playing with his toy cars in the yard. The adults watched closely, holding their breath, ready to step in. But Max did not bark. He did not lunge. Instead, his ears lifted, his brow tightened with curiosity. He simply watched the small human in silence. Somehow, instinctively, Max understood. This child carried no malice, no threat, no pain. In that moment, the wall began to fall. Today, the dog who once allowed no one near is that little boy's greatest guardian and gentlest friend. His strength is no longer fueled by fear. It is guided by love and used to protect the one thing he finally learned to trust. Finally, the story of Daisy, a senior golden retriever. In the chaotic, noisy world of the animal shelter, Daisy was invisible. She lay on the cold concrete floor. Her muzzle was gray with age. Her eyes were clouded by cataracts. She did not jump at the bars. She did not bark for attention. She simply lay there, watching the world with heavy, resigned exhaustion. The painful truth is that almost nobody wants an old dog. Families passed her cage without a glance, drawn instead to rows of bouncing puppies. Daisy seemed to accept her fate. The light in her eyes slowly faded. It was as if she were asking, "Is this how my life ends, alone and unloved?" Then, just as her hope was nearly gone, a miracle arrived. A quiet man stopped in front of her cage. He did not walk past. He crouched down to her level and met her tired eyes. He smiled softly and said the words she had waited a lifetime to hear. "I'm taking her home." The shelter staff hesitated. "You know she's very old," they said. "She may only have a few months left." The man nodded. "I know," he replied, "and that's exactly why she deserves the best months of her life, starting now." From that day on, Daisy's final adventure began. She felt the joy of her first car ride again, her nose lifted to the wind. She thought she would never experience that feeling again. She rested on a soft orthopedic bed that eased her aching joints. She walked along the beach, sand pressing gently beneath her paws. She could no longer run. Her legs were too weak. But she remembered something she thought she had lost forever. She remembered how to wag her tail. The dog nobody chose spent her final chapter surrounded by more love than she had known in her entire life. Daisy taught us a powerful truth. It does not matter how much time remains. It is never too late to be loved. What is the true key to unlocking a closed heart? It is not a special training technique. It is not a magic treat. It is patience. It is a quiet, daily promise that says, "I will never hurt you," and "I am not going anywhere." It is the strength to keep showing up, even when progress feels invisible. It is the refusal to give up, especially when things are hard. If you are lucky enough to have a dog by your side right now, please do me one favor. Pet them a little longer today. hold them a little closer, because the trust in their eyes and the gentle rhythm of their wagging tail are not guarantees. They are privileges. They are miracles born from love and earned through time. If these stories touched your heart, or if you carry a rescue story of your own, please subscribe and join our community. Let us continue sharing the beautiful stories of the animals who share our world together. Thank you for watching, and tonight, give your dog a hug from all of us.